What's up, everyone? I have been so busy preparing myself for this video because it was so emotional. And I just want to take a quick moment to share with you my experience of how my truck got stolen, what happened when my truck got stolen. Hopefully, this will help someone along the way. So, basically, I decided to spend a weekend in California. So, I got a load. I'm an over the road truck driver. I should say that first. I'm an over the road truck driver. And I decided to get a load going to Los Angeles, California. So, if you know anything about Los Angeles has terrible traffic. I mean, terrible traffic. So right after I dropped my load off in Los Angeles, I decided to come to like the outskirts of Los Angeles and get a hotel room and a rental car and just kind of enjoy the weekend and just see the area. So I dropped my load off in Los Angeles and I decided to go to Pasadena, California. So I go to Pasadena, California. I get a nice hotel room at the Holiday Inn. I thought it was pretty nice. And right when I got there, I asked the hotel associate. I said, "Hey, I'm in a semi truck. I don't have a trailer, but I am in a semi truck, and I need to know where can I park my truck at that you guys won't get it towed or anything." So she told me exactly where to park my truck. Just so happened, I parked my truck directly under their surveillance cameras. And this piece of the story is very important because if it wasn't for those surveillance cameras, the police um, would have just put me through more hoops and hurdles in order to recover my truck. So I parked my truck where she told me to, right up under the surveillance cameras. And that morning, my truck was stolen in broad daylight, you guys. Like that morning, I actually went to their continental breakfast. And after I finished eating like some cereal or whatever, I went back to the room to just take a nap because it was so hot outside. I was like, I'll wait to, go visit the city or whatever when the sun starts going down because it was too hot. So I took a nap. Um, and then I woke up and came back outside and my truck was gone. And I was like, what happened to my truck? I was like, where is my truck? That's a big red Freightliner. Where's my truck? So I went to front desk once I noticed my truck was gone. I went to front desk and I was like, "Hey, did you guys get my truck towed?" And she was like, "No, I remember you from yesterday. Nothing was wrong. We didn't get your truck towed." I said, "Well, ma'am, my truck is gone." So once I told her that my truck was gone or whatever, she went directly to the surveillance footage. And that's why it was so important that my truck was parked right up under the cameras because we saw a couple. It was a white guy and a Hispanic woman. And the Hispanic woman, she was kind of like the lookout. She was looking around the parking lot and stuff. But the white guy was basically doing a pre trip on my truck. So he was looking under the bobtail, he was looking on the left and the right sides of the bobtail. And then out of nowhere, he has like this black book bag on his back, right? And out of nowhere, he unzips the black book bag and he pulls out this really long tool. I want to say it looks like a screwdriver, but it's way longer than a screwdriver. So he pulls this out, and from the angle where my truck is, you can't really see what he's doing, but he's basically breaking in my truck with this tool that he has. And once he broke in my truck, the woman jumps in the driver's seat and she drove the truck. So once we realized that my truck was stolen, the woman at the Holiday Inn, she was like, "Ma'am, do you know those people?" And I'm looking at the surveillance cameras like, "No, I don't know those people at all. Those people are still in my truck." So she was like, "Well, we need to call the police." So when we called the police, it took the police almost 2.5 hours to get here. Basically, the police was like, with all of the defunding of the police and all of that stuff, um, with all of the defunding of the police and stuff, they were short staffed, so they have to answer issues in its urgency. And my truck being stolen was not like a pressing, urgent matter. So I waited like 2.5 hours for the police to come. And I was like, you know what? This person could be long gone in 2.5 hours. So I decided to call California Highway Patrol. And what's really important about this is, even though they stole my truck, they didn't take the tracker off of the truck. So I was able to track my truck through the ELD. And I'm looking at my truck go up highway, I want to say I-15 North, like they were going towards Vegas. They ended up driving my truck, and I'm looking at the truck on I-15, and I'm seeing like the exit markers that they're on. So I called California Highway Patrol, and I was like, hey, my name, this is my truck. My truck recently been stolen. I was like, I have a tracker. They haven't pulled it off of the tracker, and I can tell you exactly where my truck is located. Please stop my truck. I was like, I'm waiting on the police to come, but they have me waiting longer because they have a more urgent issue. But I need you guys to stop my truck so that the thieves that stole my truck don't get, any further than they already have. They ended up driving my truck from Pasadena, California, all the way to Barstow, California. They were actually 140 miles away from the from the California-Nevada borderline. Thank God I called California Highway Patrol because they stopped my truck. Not only did they stop my truck, but an arrest was made. So they were able to lock up the Hispanic woman, and the white guy they said wasn't in there, but they locked her up. And I just thank God that my truck wasn't wrecked or anything. Now, once my truck was recovered, I was calling around and calling around, and they finally gave me the address. They towed my truck to a tow yard. When they towed my truck to a tow yard, it cost me $1,200 to get my truck out. So not only was my truck stolen from me, but then after my truck was stolen from me, I had to pay $1,200 to get my truck back. When I got my truck back, my truck was trash. They went through all of my clothes. They went through my refrigerator. I mean, they went through everything. It was just pretty much trashed. I ended up like throwing a lot of stuff away and getting some Lysol and bleach and just bleaching my truck down, and just sanitizing it so that I can feel more comfortable. But they pretty much trashed the inside of the truck, but they didn't wreck it. Thank God. All right. So after all of that happened, I finally got out there. I ended up getting a rental car, and I drove to Barstow. And when I drove to Barstow, my team partner drove the rental car back, and I drove my truck back. And on the way driving my truck back, my truck started running hot. My truck started running hot. And I was in tears, I was in tears. It's actually a little emotional to talk about it right now. But I was in tears because nothing was wrong. I just did a load from Illinois to California for my little weekend getaway. And nothing was wrong with my truck. And out of nowhere, my truck started running hot after it gets stolen. I don't know what those people did to my truck. But I thank God that I have a really good Freightliner warranty. It actually covers parts and labor. It was expensive, but it was definitely worth it. So basically, I took my truck to Freightliner, and I got to spend another 3 days in California while they fix it. So, um, I just would say if I had to offer any suggestions on how to, make sure your truck doesn't get stolen or anything, I would hate for this to happen to anybody, like it happened to me. But always, the ELD is a tracker. So that's good. I know everybody is kind of against hours of service and stuff, but if your truck is stolen, the ELD is definitely a tracker. You can always track your truck that way. So that's good. Also, to try, if you see any surveillance cameras in an area, um, park there. Park there. Primarily for insurance purposes. Any vandalism or any theft or anything that takes place where you're the victim, if you happen to park around or near a surveillance camera, that may work out in your favor. Um, Also, another thing that I didn't do is to close the curtains. I did lock my truck up, so I did lock the truck up. But I think that the reason why they were comfortable pulling out the long screwdriver or whatever they used to break into my truck is because my curtains weren't closed, so they can look in the windshield and they can see that no one is in there. So, closing the curtains, they don't know if someone's in there or not. So that's another security measure. And also, a steering wheel lock is really good. If you can get a steering wheel lock, that's really really convenient, because even if they got in the truck, they can't maneuver the steering wheel if it's locked. So um, I definitely want to shout out the wonderful people at Holiday Inn in Pasadena, California, who helped me with dealing with the police. They showed the surveillance cameras over and over again to make sure that the police knew that my truck was stolen. It wasn't towed away, it wasn't repoed. I'm current on my payments, so there's no issues there. Um, but yeah, so definitely did that, and I'm thankful for that. And then also, even though it took the police 2 hours to come, really, I needed them to run a police report, but they were holding me up. Who really helped me was California Highway Patrol. And when I called them, even before the police report had been taken, they'd already found the truck at the mile marker. They stopped the truck. I got the opportunity to talk to the arresting officer, and he told me that, the woman just willingly pulled over. So there was no damage done to my truck, except for there is a crack on the bumper, and I'm debating on whether or not I want to file an insurance claim, because insurance is expensive and it goes up whenever you file a claim. So I'm debating on that, but it just hurt me so bad that my truck was stolen from me. I had to pay $1,200 to get it out of the tow yard. Then when I got it out and drove it back, it started running hot. I had to take it to the dealership for whatever mechanical issue it was. Plus, I had to get my lock and stuff fixed on the door, because the door, they broke in. Um, so I just hope that this helps. I'll try to post more videos about the things that happened during my trucking journey. Not all of them are bad. Some of my, experiences in trucking are amazing. You know, um, I just pray. I pray and I keep trying. I keep trying. And I encourage you all to do the same. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and you're welcome to. I guess I can put my email address down here, so you're welcome to put in a request for that. I'll be more than happy to reply whenever I get some free time. And thank you for watching my video.